Welcome to the Income Outcome Show, a podcast publication part of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. The Income Outcome Show is dedicated to pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, pharmacy students, and all pharmacy professionals interested in maximizing their income and providing insights into living a financially free lifestyle.
All matters discussed during this podcast are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed herein are solely those of WayPoint Strategic Advisors, LLC, and our editorial staff. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representations as to its accuracy or completeness. All information and ideas should be discussed in detail with your individual advisor prior to implementation. The presence of this podcast shall in no way be construed or interpreted as a solicitation to sell or offer to sell advisory services to anyone. WayPoint Strategic Advisors, LLC is not affiliated with or endorsed by any government agency and are not engaged in the practice of law. Content should not be viewed as an offer to buy or sell any of the securities mentioned or as legal or tax advice. You should always consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation.
And now here are your hosts of the Income Outcome Show, Ben Coakley with WayPoint Strategic Advisors and Joe Castleman with Pharmacy Financial.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Income Outcomes Podcast. This is your host, Ben Coakley, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Tyler Campbell, Pharmacy 401k. How are you today, Tyler?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on today, Ben.
Yeah, we're live here at the PDS 2018 show down in Orlando, Florida. And we're going to be talking about some really important things today. I've lined up a few guests that I think are really important and can help you guys make money, keep more money, and a little concept we call Defend Our Team. And I think that's something that is really important. So Tyler, tell me about Pharmacy 401k. What do y'all do there?
Yeah, absolutely. We take the time to customize and find optimal solutions for pharmacy owners with their retirement plans. Usually that involves maximizing the plan for the owners, and also a happy side effect of that, Ben, is you're actually attracting, retaining, and rewarding your most valuable employees.
And that goes into the concept that we're kind of promoting here, Defend My Team. Go to defendmyteam.com and you'll get the gist of what we're doing. We're seeing a lot of poaching of really talent out there. We're all competing for the same limited pool of highly qualified, talented people. And every study I've ever read says that the biggest issue that any employer has, no matter what industry, is finding talented employees. And I think that that's important. So Tyler, so how do you focus? How do you balance doing what's right for the owner versus doing what's right for the employees, and how does that work?
Well, typically I always kind of start by saying it has to make sense for the owner, first of all. And if we can find a way to use a retirement plan that takes care of the owner, then in turn they can take care of their people better.
So again, the concept is you can do both. It's not one or the other, because I hear sometimes I have to do this because it's better for my employees, but I don't get any benefit for it. So you're saying there's ways to do both?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of customization in 401ks that people aren't aware of. There's not a lot of companies out there that's specifically focused on 401k plans, especially in the pharmacy industry. So now we actually ran into a few guys here who came up and said, well, we're on a certain platform and we're limited on the different options that we can run, or if we run one option and we want to see another option, we get charged extra money to do that. So on your platform, are there any extra charges to really go in and customize something specifically for that particular pharmacy? No, there's not. We take the time to do that up front, and we'll take the time to re-customize every year at no additional cost. We really try to get it set up right, but every year it's going to change a little bit. So we try to stay on top of that, because as you add employees, as the employer or owner ages, there's going to be different options available out there. And something that you may have set up 5-10 years ago may not be optimal now. So one of the biggest things we do, Ben, and it's kind of resonated
is really just taking a fresh look at what people have in place right now and seeing if there is other options out there. Taking a look at their fees, benchmarking those, taking a look at their investments, seeing if there's any hidden fees, things of that nature. And then the biggest thing we try to focus on is plan design. And that's what we're talking about, trying to get the owner that maximum benefit. And while doing that, that's what allows them to provide a better benefit for their employees.
Awesome. Now I do a lot of reading, I assume you do too, particularly about benefits and things like that, and not just in the pharmacy industry, but nationwide. And there's a lot of studies out there, guys, for those of you who are listening. So you can Google this and research it yourself. But what we're telling you is the information that we've gathered really starts to paint a picture. And one of the pictures that it paints is that we typically do benefits kind of haphazardly. So one study I read said the owner does the benefits based on what he or she wants, and we assume that that's what the employees are going to want. Well, turns out the employees sometimes want the exact opposite of what we as employers think. So what we have to do is we've got to go in and truly understand how to make it work for the owner and create benefits that are of value to the employees. And the other thing that every study shows is that we don't typically clearly communicate the benefits. So Tyler, what are some strategies out there for people who are listening who have a 401k, or even if it's just an employee who is in a 401k at a pharmacy, what are some strategies that they can use to improve the education and the communication of that benefit for whether it's the employer or it's the employee saying, I need this. Tell me what some strategies are.
Yeah, that's a great question. It kind of brings the topic up. If the employee doesn't understand the benefit, do they really see it as a benefit? So one of the reasons we started our focus on pharmacies is because we can actually take the time, go into these pharmacies, talk to each individual employee, and make sure that they understand what a great benefit their employer is offering. And then educate them on the different options that they have and what long-term effects that can impact on reaching their goals for their life at the pharmacy.
Yeah, and that goes into a concept that this defend my team concept. It's the best way to defend your team is to help your employees understand how they can achieve their goals, how achieving the pharmacy goals helps them achieve their goals. And if we can do that, help them truly see how working at your drugstore or wherever you work out there, helping you understand how you can achieve your goals through whatever's available. So we have to address what's available, but then we really have to address education to help them understand. If we do that, I think that turns that into a tremendous benefit for those employees. So Tyler, so from an investment standpoint, let's talk about that because that's the big elephant in the room. We see a lot of lawsuits and things being filed by employees against their employers, specifically about the investments. What can be done to alleviate some of the liability on the employer for choosing the investments?
Sure. One of the biggest things that I always stress in a 401k when you're providing for your employees, you as the owner do not need that extra liability of what your employees are choosing in investments. So there's something called a fiduciary management that you can have, and there's a couple different levels of that. And typically what you're wanting to look for is what's called a 338 lineup of fiduciary management. So it's a rigorous test annually. It's actually every quarter on these different funds that are available to choose from to ensure that they're accurate, they are investing what they're saying they're investing in, they're low cost, they're performing the way they should, and things of that nature. And what that does is if there ever was a lawsuit that would come back on the employer due to the investments, now you have outsourced that liability to an expert that would have a legal team that can step in front of you?
Yeah, so it's just an extra layer of protection built around, because the hardest part of the 401k is choosing those investments, making sure the investments are fiduciarily, if that's a word, sound. That's my South Carolina coming out in me. But yeah, we have to make sure from a fiduciary standpoint that they're doing what they're doing. I think I saw, talking with you, I think there's like 8 standards that you use to measure the fiduciary health, let's call it, of a particular fund. And if it doesn't meet certain of those standards, then the fund is automatically chunked out based on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the important thing I always try to stress too is, educate yourself, see what you have, ask your advisor or your administrator, what kind of protection do I have, and from a fiduciary standpoint, because there are different levels. And you want to make sure that you completely understand. Some people like to use the word fiduciary with a couple different numbers, and then at the end of the day, you're really not getting that protection that we're discussing.
Perfect. Now, so if you have questions out there, feel free to email me, Ben at waypointus.com. Shoot me a text message, 843-810-3983 is my cell number. We'll be glad to get you in touch with Tyler. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Use an email or phone. You can go through Ben, or you can contact me directly, Tyler at pharmacy401k.com, or you can call my cell phone at 423-341-4408.
Perfect. Tyler, thank you for your time, brother, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
All right, thank you.
Great, we'll be right back.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Keycentrix has been leading and guiding the pharmacy industry for over 40 years. A forerunner of innovation and technology, Keycentrix more than delivers pharmacy software solutions to the ever-expanding complex network of healthcare. The heart of Keycentrix is dedicated to restoring patient health and promoting patient compliance by the continuation of care through pharmacy management. Keycentrix brings pharmacy management to a comprehensive level of understanding and precision unlike anything available in the industry. Keycentrix New Leaf RX pharmacy management software revolutionizes this opportunity for specialty pharmacy markets. New Leaf RX thinks like a pharmacist and a prescriber at the same time, while also providing the data needed for decisions from every other contributor in the healthcare ecosystem. New Leaf RX will lead to successful outcome-based processes, guaranteed. At the end of the day, Keycentrix software packages have what every pharmacy has been looking for. New Leaf RX is the next level of pharmacy management systems. For more information and to experience a demo, visit keycentrix.com.
I'm here with Amanda Gaddy with Secure 340B. How are you, Amanda?
I'm great, Ben. How are you?
Doing well. Are you enjoying the show this week?
Absolutely. It's so fun to see friends and pharmacy colleagues.
It's awesome. It's a little cold in here, though.
It's freezing.
I forgot my jacket. I'm in Orlando. You don't need a jacket, right? So Tyler and I were talking about that. We threw our jacket in the car. Like, we don't need it. And sure enough, it's cold. It's colder in here than I think it is at home outside. So, all right. So tell me a little bit about your company and why did you found your company?
Sure. So Secure 340B was founded to help pharmacists that are participating in the 340B arena with contracting with covered entities. So 340B can be an excellent way for a pharmacy to partner with a hospital or health system or clinic in their area. And what it does is it allows there to be revenue that they can use to help the uninsured, the underinsured population.
So how does a community pharmacy actually make money? Is it a reimbursed rate? Is it a fee? How does that work?
So what happens is for every claim that the pharmacy feels that originates from the hospital or the clinic, all the revenue that they receive is actually passed to that clinic or hospital to be used for those patients that may be underserved or uninsured. The pharmacy makes money because they retain a fee or a dispensing fee. That fee is more than they would have made without 340B. So that's what's very important to use a company like Secure 340B that can look at the exact claims for that pharmacy to determine if that fee is going to be enough to sustain the program.
And how exactly do you do that? Do you have a computer program that you run it through, or is Eric just looking at invoices every day? You lock him in the basement and say you're staring at invoices all day? How's that work?
No, it's a very specific data process. So Eric does do it. But basically, we take the claims for that pharmacy that were filled by the providers at the entity, and we run it through different analyses. So we say, well, what would it look like if we have a brand only with 30%? Or what if we include brand and generics at a flat rate of $20? And just look and see what makes the most sense for not only the pharmacy, but the covered entity. We're also looking for the best fit for the covered entity because, again, we want this to be the best scenario for all parties with the patient ultimately benefiting. And the great thing about the pharmacy partnering with the health system, right now everybody is being measured. Adherence is huge. Pharmacies have and offer a lot of programs that actually improve adherence, but they're expensive. So like a clinical medicine program takes time. Adherence or compliance packaging is an expense. They're not paid for this. So by partnering with that covered entity, increasing their margin per prescription, it can afford them the ability to offer these enhanced clinical services, which ultimately do help the patient and ultimately help the hospital or the health system as well as far as their decrease in readmissions and improving adherence.
Yeah, and that's so important. So if you're out there and you're thinking about 340B or you've got questions about 340B, or we've had owners call us and say we've been approached, we have a contract sitting on our desk and we don't know if it's good, if it's bad, are we going to make money, are we not?
That's exactly why we formed this company. It's to make it completely transparent so that a pharmacy owner can say, yes, this is definitely something I A, understand, and B, that I'm willing to do, or no, it's not. And we have told pharmacy owners before it's not a good deal, or pharmacies that have been participating to get out of it, because it can be a game changer in a good way, and it can be a game changer in a negative way. So it's very important. I would say if you don't understand your numbers, do not participate in 340B.
So if I'm looking at a contract, the first rule is if I don't understand it, get some help.
Get some help.
Get some help. Get somebody who knows what they're doing and can help you decipher all this. But what do I look for? If let's say I get a contract, are there some telltale signs that maybe it's not a good contract for me, or are there some things that maybe, hey, that is a good contract? What are some of those things?
Great question. First of all, you have to know what your margin is per prescription without 340B before you can even think about a dispensing fee. And you really need to know what that is for brand and generic, right? So if you're just looking at an average, that's not going to work. And then once you know what that number is, then look at the contract. What are they qualifying? Are they looking at all claims, including a $2 lisinopril prescription? Are they doing brand only? Or are they doing what's called profit only, which means that anything that the covered entity is losing money on, they're going to carve out. And that typically is not good for the pharmacy, by the way.
Okay. So you're looking for those things. Is there anything on the positive side? Is there anything? Because I assume, like anything else in this industry, that there are people out there who are looking for fair deals, and there are some groups out there who are looking to take advantage of maybe get a deal that's a little bit more weighted towards them and not towards the pharmacy. Are there some good things?
But Ben, I really don't think that happens. I think it's a lack of knowledge, because it's sometimes there's just like, what is your average margin? Well, a lot of pharmacy owners may not really know that, unfortunately. So if you come and say, what about $15 per prescription? They may say, well, great, that's great. But really, when you get down into the claims detail, it may not be great. That's what's really important to know your book of business today before 340B to see what that sweet spot should be to make it work.
Yeah, and I think the easiest thing for everybody out there listening, just contact Eric and Amanda, Secure 340B, because we have stories where people are like, we made money on certain drugs, we lost a lot of money on certain drugs. We look at the overall contract and we actually end up with a net loss. So I think really going in and diving claim by claim to see exactly what is going to happen specifically with that contract. I think that, and guys, and I don't know about y'all, but the pharmacists I talk to do submit thousands of claims, and it can be a daunting task to try to make that determination. Amanda, Eric, her team, they have the analysis and the analyses that you can run. Any other advice, Amanda, for somebody out there?
I would just really stress that do not get involved with this unless you know exactly what you're doing, your margin is per prescription, and like Ben said, be able to look at the claim detail. And then if you're already in it, don't assume that you're doing okay unless you're just sitting on a bunch of cash in the bank. Because what happens a lot of times is they'll call us and they'll say, well, we think we're doing just fine, and then we'll find like $40,000 of inventory that's still outstanding. And that's a true story, and it happens a lot.
Yeah, I had a specific client called me and said somehow he was owed over $100,000.
Absolutely.
And he caught it like 6 months after, and that's cash flow, you know.
Well, it's cash flow, and it's the value of your business. So you can have a slow bleed over time and then get ready to sell your store, and it's worth like, maybe $1 million less because of 340B, or it could be worth $1 million more. So it really is a game changer. I cannot stress that enough. And it can be a game changer in a good way and a game changer in a bad way. So you want to make sure that you're on the good side of that.
Yeah, and I think everybody here has heard us speak about you need a great team of advisors. We call them friends of pharmacy, people who care about you, who are transparent, who love the transparency kind of model, and who are willing to kind of dive in and help y'all succeed. And I think this program, just based on the traffic you guys have had here at the PDS show, I think people are starting to really recognize and put value into what you're doing. So Amanda, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can email Amanda at secure340b.com or Eric, ERIC, at secure340b.com, or call 404-313-5500, or visit our website, and it's www.secure340b.com. And one more thing, I love what you just said about working together and having the passion of helping. That really is the key to everything that I do. I mean, 340B is just a piece of it, but I really have a passion for helping independent community pharmacy really thrive.
Yeah, and guys, it's there. You can make it happen. But again, finding the right team and getting the right people that truly have your best interest is so important. So Amanda, thank you so much.
Oh, it's so good to talk to you.
Yeah, this has been fun. So enjoy your last day here at PDS, and try to stay warm.
Interested in learning more about maximizing your income and living a financially free lifestyle? Contact the Income Outcomes Show today to learn more about your financial possibilities and best practices in managing your money to create opportunities for lasting wealth. Go to pharmacypodcast.com under the contact section and send us a message, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Thanks for listening to the Income Outcomes Show, a podcast publication part of the Pharmacy Podcast Network.